You guys, these cuffs turned out so fun. Let's walk through how we did this. I picked out a bunch of stones that I thought would make smaller cuffs, and of course here I'm making my bezels for each of the stones. If you are a beginner silversmith or whatever, I am going to be starting to do some tutorial videos. There's a lot of fun things I've learned along the way that I would like to share, and I always have people asking me. Here I'm just soldering the bezels for these, and now here I have the bezels on the back plates and I am soldering. I do always work 99% from the underside because heat pulls, and so that I feel like that works a little bit better. And now, of course, back plate soldered, sewing around. Least favorite part, especially when it comes to my skin. Here I am soldering the back plate because it's ready for the stone onto the cuff itself. And there are so many ways that you can do the same thing, so I'm never saying that I know it all for sure. I like to use my third hand to balance everything so that it's even. They come in handy. I have about 6 of them. And here I'm using Black Max. I get this from Rio, and it's for doing patina. I like to do a nice patina, especially when there's a pattern on stuff. Here I am pushing the stones down into the bezel that's ready. I like my bezels to be really perfectly tight so that the stone perfectly snaps down in tight. I don't like there to be a lot of room because then it's a sloppy fit, and it's harder, I feel like, to make a stone look nice when there's a lot of room for wiggle room. Sloppy, don't like that. And so I snap my stone perfectly down into place, and obviously if it's too tight you can snap stones. If they're softer stones like turquoise, backing them helps make that a little less fragile. Here I've got a bezel pusher that I am pushing the bezel around the stone. I use a ton of different things. This is an acrylic bezel pusher called a smooth set. I got it on Etsy. Comes in like 5 different sizes. This is a different kind of bezel pusher that is metal. And sometimes when you have a heavier bezel, you have to use something a little stronger. And sometimes I use my Fordham hammer handpiece. And there's a fine line between too much bezel and not enough bezel. I feel like you want your bezel to fit perfectly around your stone with a little tiny lip over the top to hold it in place. Oftentimes I feel like people don't necessarily change the bezel. If the stone girdle is not cut evenly, you're going to have a harder time. Like this stone was a tumbled nugget that I cut in half, and so the bezel around this one was not perfect, but I loved the chunky shape of it, so I'm just making it work. There's always workarounds for stuff. You can always find a way to make something turn out the way you want it to. And you can't be afraid. You just have to go for it. You just practice. Sometimes you ruin things. Sometimes they come out perfectly. Either way, there's lessons learned, and that's a good thing. And again, I didn't buy a ton of fancy tools when I started. There's a lot of great things out there that can assist you in the processes. And there's also basic things that allow you to get the job done. And that's what's important, is just getting in there and get the job done. Make it look nice so that it is appealing. It's all the little details that matter. I'm big about the little details. Like each one of the back plates of these cuffs is done through a rolling mill, so there's a really cool pattern on the back of each of these. And I tried to make sure that the band matched the feel of the stone. All of those things. I think that it's important for the little details. These turned out so cute. I was getting these all ready for I have a big show coming up in Jackson Hole this weekend, and I wanted to have some things that were different. So I'm trying to have lots of different cuffs, pendants, rings, all the fun things. It's hard to know what people are gonna love, but it's okay because it's trial and error, and the right piece will find the right person, I believe. You can look at my mess. I look behind my pictures on here, and it's like, it's just a messy workspace, but that's just kind of how it goes for me. Once you've got the bezels pushed around the stone, then we're going to come in and burnish with a burnisher. And again, I have multiple of those, and I use lots of different things. And then look at that, worn one or all together or multiple stacker cuffs are beautiful.